Yeah. Yeah. Facts. Who's the most deep concentration? Bleed. What up? Trizzy Troy, what up? Listen, I'm trying to figure, yo, man, it's a lot of players, man. That poor pitch thing sparked something. Like, that poor pitch thing sparked something. Dogs, what up, dogs? I'm gonna be real. See, niggas gonna think I'm. Listen, man. Listen.
Yo, I ain't gonna stay on here too long.
Yeah, I ain't gonna
stay on here too long. I ain't gonna stay on here too long. I got 2 minutes real fast.
What's good?
Paul Pierce is not underrated. That's number one.
He's very underrated.
He's not underrated. He's not underrated.
Flea,
he's not underrated.
Hold on,
he's properly rated. But the way he talks, you think he's underrated. Bro, he's good. He's good. He's good. Where everybody has him is just where he needs to be. He's fine.
That's for one. That's not true. This has nothing to do with how he talks. It's about how we talk.
Okay.
When we talk about some of the greatest small forwards that ever did it, his name comes up when somebody brings it up as far as like on some, oh shit, Paul Pierce. Like, we literally go, look what they do to Scottie Pippen when we talk about small forwards. No, hold on, Flea. Paul Pierce does not get no props. When the last time you heard anybody give Paul Pierce props? All jokes aside.
The real ball play, the real guys that watch the game, you are like that's what I'm talking about, OG. You, me, guys that we talk the game with, right? We respect where Paul Pierce is. Like, he did a lot for the game, right? Hell of Hall of Famer, no question. But you want to overrate the dude instead of just properly rating him. Where he's at is good. Where does he need buckets? Where he need to be? He need to be top. He need to be top 3 small forward all time.
No,
top 5.
See. I know. No. Nobody's saying he needs to be top 3 or top 5. I'm just saying.
Trick. He need to be top 5 small forward. What does he need to be, bro?
Where do y'all have Paul Pierce?
I kind of agree that he could be top 10, but you say he's knocking off Dominique and Dr. J. You is
I didn't say he's knocking.
No.
I didn't say for one. I didn't say he's knocking off anybody. I never said he's taking those guys' spot in the top.
Oh
10.
no, you say he's better than them, right?
Right. I said I'm taking Paul Pierce over Dominique and over Doc.
All right, but when I put up Doc's stats and I sent it to you, Paul Pierce is not topping that at all. Average more points than him, more assists than him.
Okay.
Right? He got a chip. Only thing Pierce got over Dr. J is a Finals MVP. Okay. That's it.
OG, you jumped out the window and tried to say
Paul 7.3 as a rookie.
Paul Pierce was never an all defensive player.
No. You see, I put it on Google. Google did that. That wasn't my fault. Google. Yo, that's Google's fault.
When I heard you say, I was like, oh, hell no.
Now watch this.
Pierce
this. Buckets. Now watch this. What Trizzy Trey said, I'm not arguing that. Carmelo Anthony numbers is way better than Paul Pierce. Is anybody up here taking Paul Pierce over Carmelo?
If you're going by like,
yes or no, bro.
Wait, I gotta break.
I don't.
If you're going by accolades, if you're going by accolades,
I'm not.
You see what I be saying? No. You answered it. I'm asking your man down here. Are you taking Paul Pierce over Melo?
I'm not doing it.
Neither one play defense like that.
Listen,
man. That's tough. But Paul Pierce is a champion.
Yeah, thanks to KG Ray Allen.
And he put his
thanks to them.
Who got Finals MVP?
KG Ray Allen that got there.
Who got Finals
Paul Pierce got finals MVP.
He went and got.
Thank you.
Pierce is never in that position without them guys. He's never in that position.
But nobody's in that position without the proper help, y'all. Nobody. No, literally nobody. We got niggas that have great teams from the beginning. They started.
Paul Pierce and Melo, that's tough. That's tough, Paul. That's tough. Bro. My God, that's tough. But what Trish said is real. Without Garnett, like he's a factor. He's a major factor. Melo didn't have a major factor after him on his team
at all.
Like y'all know how biased I am on Allen Iverson, but Chuck wasn't like he was when he went to Denver, like he was in Philly. Like,
but my thing is, I don't want to make it all about Paul Pierce. I just wanted to talk about a lot of underrated players. I'm just saying, when he did get the proper help, he went to 2 finals, and he was a finals MVP. Everybody needs help. As great as Michael Jordan was, Scotty had to come over there for them to.
Oh yeah, Mike ain't win until he got there.
Nah, man. Look, but he made Pippen like that. Pippen didn't come there superstar, wilding and all that. KG didn't come there super.
Oh my God.
Back though, you gotta break that down.
Mike ain't win.
Let's not do that.
He didn't win. That's fact. He won't win it.
Nigga, what are you talking about?
No.
Look at what Dennis Rodman. Trizzy, I don't want to make this about Jordan. Look at what Dennis Rodman just said. You can YouTube it. Michael Jordan is number one fanatic as well. Michael Jordan is lucky Scottie Pippen went to Chicago.
I'm not.
All I'm saying is
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm not disagreeing with that. What I'm saying, the part that people be leaving out, they make it seem like he got there from day one. They went, no, he was a bum. He had to build that talent up with Jordan to get like that.
Scottie Pippen was a bum.
Paul Pierce, these niggas had KG. He'd already established. LeBron with D-Wade established. Kobe had Pau Gasol, Shaq, and these niggas. Mike didn't have niggas like that on his team.
Paul Pierce gets the love. The only reason Paul Pierce really gets the love he gets is because he's won and shit like that. And then later on in his career, he started playing for championships. But if you think about it, he was putting up, you like to say you'll take Paul Pierce over Melo.
Yes.
Pierce was putting up Melo type numbers in Boston for years. And they were losing.
If Pierce didn't win a chip right now, this won't be a conversation.
Saying though.
Hold on.
He was putting up 25 a night.
He was, and Antoine Walker was,
and they were losing.
Listen, as much as I like Pierce, I'm gonna be honest. Pierce never put up Melo numbers. I'm not.
Look.
Listen.
I'm not asking. I'm telling you, the dude was 25 a night, and they were losing.
Yeah. Once again, all y'all make great points. Everybody needs somebody to win. We all up here say you can't lose or you can't win on your own. Some of the small forwards that we talk about have great teams throughout their whole
Pierce
career.
is not a better passer than Melo. Hell no.
Passing is
overrated,
man. I'm being honest. A lot of niggas ain't great passers. Niggas can pass, but ain't nobody Jason Kidd Magic in that joint. So I don't even get into that. That great passing shit, I don't even care about that. Paul Pierce is the truth. And I think if he would have had a good roster like everybody else for 15, 20 years, we would have seen more winners. That's just a fact. That's a fact.
I think Grant Hill is overrated, bro. I think Grant Hill is overrated. I mean, I'm sorry, not overrated, underrated. I'm sorry, underrated.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think they give him. I don't think they give Grant Hill enough love, bro.
It's skill-wise.
People be forgetting, bro.
He get too much love. He get too much love.
Skill-wise, he's better than Paul Pierce. I'll get that any day.
He gets too much love.
Skill-wise, he's better than Paul Pierce.
Yeah. Now, hold on. Niggas give Grant Hill all the props in the world. Stop it.
You think so? Yeah. I think people forgot. I think they mentioned T-Mac and just forget.
No, I agree with AllBall. He get his projects that we know he got hurt, and then it's like that kind of stopped it. But we know what he could have been. But we going by this straight skill from what he was doing in his prime, he would have killed Paul Pierce. Easily.
He was drugging Paul Pierce when he was around.
He was drugging everybody. Come on, don't do that. He was drugging everybody.
Penny Hardaway better than Paul Pierce too.
Here we go. No,
I like Penny. I like Penny, dog. I love Penny,
Watch this. Can I say something?
Wait. Hold on, OJ. Hold on, OJ. Hold the fuck. You about to jump out the window, say Paul Pierce better than Penny?
Hold on, I'm gonna go even further. One of the most overrated players I've ever seen. Yeah.
Oh, this is crazy.
Fuck your mind. What's wrong with you, yo?
Hold on. Did he just say?
What I just said to you the other day?
He said Penny Hardaway was overrated.
Yeah. Great player, but I heard Shaq say Penny was better than Kobe. This is the shit I'm talking about. Get out of here, man. Y'all
but Shaq broke it down when he meant. He said at that time they're paying their ages at that time. Yeah, but throughout the years, Kobe came way better than Penny. But at a certain time,
Penny was great.
We might not never see a first 4 years from a player. What Penny did in his first 4 seasons, we might not never see that.
So
we see it from Luka right now.
That's his rookie contract.
Penny
that's
was
his rookie contract. I got you.
Penny was first team All NBA for 4 years in a row.
This is what I'm talking about.
I love Penny, dog. Penny was nasty. Oh my God.
As great as he is, now we ain't gonna never see nothing like that for the first 4 years. This is what I'm saying. How good was Carmelo his first 4 years? How good was Kevin Durant his first 4 years?
It wasn't Penny Hardaway. It wasn't Penny Hardaway. It wasn't Penny Hardaway though.
Okay. Penny Hardaway
went to the finals. Penny went to the finals. Melo didn't.
Okay.
Penny went. Yeah, he did. I'm just trying. What was Penny's numbers his first year? Somebody Google that. I need to know that. What was his numbers his first year?
Now, if you talk about underrated players, like that's underrated. Jamal Mashburn underrated. Monster Mash underrated.
That's why I wanted to play like right back in the day.
I love Nash.
I want to play
Harlem, nigga. All day.
No, he's from the Bronx. He's from the Bronx, never Harlem.
Monster Mashburn is from Harlem, my brother.
He reps the Bronx. He says the Bronx.
Man, this nigga here, man. Like, come on, my nigga. He from Harlem, bro.
That's the Bronx.
Bro, I understand what he's saying. He's from Harlem, bro.
Wait, so why are you saying that?
I thought he was from the Bronx too.
The Bronx, he says.
Everybody thinks he's from the Bronx. He's
you think that he's from the Bronx?
Hey, you can look him up. You can Google it. They under his
Bronx, New York. You don't know Harlem, New York.
No, Mashburn was that dude when we was coming up. My God.
Thank you.
Monster Mash.
Hey, thank you, S. The Penny nigga y'all talking about got swept, right? Cricket. Fuck out of here.
Who?
Man.
What'd he say? I couldn't hear him. What'd he say?
Yeah,
he's better than any point guard in Knick history. He's better than Penny Hardaway. Better than any point guard in Knick history.
Trizzy, we're talking about most underrated players, and then we make it go most overrated players. This has nothing to do with the Knicks, my nigga. Like, come on, bro.
You see how we get dragged in this shit?
Yeah, right. See, look.
All right, watch this. We can go there. Trizzy, who your team?
What happened?
You see, now I'm speaking French. What's your team?
Chicago. / Brooklyn. What's the problem?
Chicago / Brooklyn. Y'all's in the playoffs this year?
No, we wasn't.
So how could you make fun of anybody?
Because my team won rings when I was born. You didn't. Yours wasn't. So get out of here.
Hey, bro. Yo, y'all gotta let that go. 30 years ago, y'all gotta let that go, bro.
I did let it go.
Stop it.
You gotta let mad shit go.
Hey, watch this.
You gotta let mad shit go. Y'all losers. Y'all losers. They lose everything.
Hey, please,
Troy will get off anytime he on the screen. He will get off on the Knicks, boy.
Get all that.
The niggas trash. Niggas trash.
But watch this.
New York is horrible. All up in New York and all that.
Corny. From New York, I know they act like that.
Corny.
Nobody from New York. They hate all the New York things.
This why I laugh. Everybody that hate the Knicks, which is rightfully, I ain't gonna argue with that. But your team been trashed for how long now?
We was better than y'all these past 15 years. We was better than y'all these past 15 years. We was better than y'all. Even though we both been
15 years, y'all been better than the Knicks.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Player wise and all that. What you talking about?
Hell yeah.
We had Derrick Rose, nigga, that was busting out niggas' ass.
Do the math. When
the last time? All right, bet. When the last time? All right, hold on. Wait. I'm gonna ask one question. All right, hold on.
Derrick Rose won the MVP.
When the last time a Knicks player had MVP or Rookie of the Year? When the last time? When the last time?
My nigga, what age was you with Mike and them won the first ring?
I was 10.
Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here, nigga.
Oh my God, yo.
Get the fuck out of here.
Well, I was 10 years old.
You ain't been 14, 15. You can't claim shit.
Nigga, I've been the Bulls. Yo, I've been a fan of the Bulls since I was 7 years old, my nigga.
Oh my God.
Nigga, 10 years old. Get the fuck out
All right,
of here.
you hollering and making your point valid. You hollering making your point valid.
I'm hollering because I want
All right, kick a
what you talking
pre.
about?
All right, kick a pre in the face.
Wow.
I've been a Bulls since I was 7 years old, nigga.
Trizzy.
7 years old.
Once again, bro,
I got an older brother.
Trizzy,
That's why I watch the Bulls like that, because my brother. I've been defensive.
Trizzy, can I talk?
For that.
Can I talk?
Wait, I was trying to say something first. You cut me off.
Bro, so what? Can I talk? Bro,
Yeah.
Let's stick to the comments because you make this shit something else.
Why not?
Do that tonight. Yeah, bro. Because you don't keep it real. My nigga,
wait, hold on. I'll keep it real. Ain't nothing fake about me.
You make fun about the Knicks, but Chicago been trash for a couple years, bro.
A couple years compared to y'all decades. Okay.
My nigga, when the last time y'all was relevant? All jokes aside. All right, let's be for real.
I've never known that New York is all New York.
Yes,
like this,
no.
More recently, y'all.
No, I'm not.
More recently than y'all.
We ain't been
Hey, please, that's some new shit to me. Y'all
Wait, hold on. Wait. He asked me something. Wait, let me answer. Wait, say it again, old boy.
When has the last time Chicago Bulls been relevant? That's all I
More
ask,
recently than y'all.
bro. But you're not answering the question. You just
I just answered it.
My nigga, you keep being sarcastic.
No, I'm not being sarcastic. Stop trying like
Trizzy, can you give me a year the last time y'all was relevant? We was relevant last year. I'm asking you, when was the last time Chicago Bulls was relevant?
Like 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yes.
So that means we was relevant before y'all.
Yeah, lately, this year.
No,
this year, y'all was because
you keep moving the goalposts.
I'm not
you said
moving nothing. You're not hearing what I'm telling you. I asked you a question. I said,
3 years ago.
When was the last time anybody on the Knicks had an MVP, a rookie, any of that? Any of that? That was a long time ago. You had nothing in the 2000s at all. Nothing. Yeah, all these great players that come to the Knicks and they went down there.
Talking about
that went down.
My nigga, like, come on, my nigga, damn, son. We ain't want to talk about this. We got something pinned and we got a title, my nigga. Like, come on, bro.
Hey, why is it when I say something we don't want to talk about, but when you act something,
that's not
we can talk about it.
Trizzy, that's not the title, and that's not the pinned comment, bro. That's all. My nigga, I can argue with Chicago Knicks. I don't mind doing that. But then when you go, y'all been relevant before us, I'm going, okay, we've been relevant before y'all. If y'all was relevant 2-3 years ago, we was relevant this year. Then you go say something else. Bro, we've been relevant before y'all lately. That's a fact.
And I said we've been relevant way more times than y'all said.
But that's what I'm saying.
That don't even matter. When the last time we ain't none of us winning no chips, so that don't matter.
Right.
Yeah.
So I seen one when I was alive. His team didn't. That's all I said. he got mad with that.
My nigga, I don't get mad. I don't know none of these niggas, man, on them teams. I ain't get mad.
But you asked me how old was I when
yeah, because you fucking alive up, bro. I want to argue tonight, my nigga.
So the question.
Wait, why fuck up the live? You got some niggas
you got niggas dropping off and all type of shit, bro.
Nobody ain't dropping off. That's a cat. It was only 8 people when we was talking.
Hear that, man? I'm talking about the nigga that was just on the screen. What do you mean 8? I don't care who's in the live. I'm talking about on the screen, bro. Like, come on, you throwing shots, nigga. Don't want to go through all that tonight, my nigga. Damn, son.
I ain't throwing no shots.
You throwing shots at nigga like, oh, it was only 8 people. Ain't nobody saying all that, my nigga. Like, come on. You're a cool nigga. I don't want to go through that with you on no Instagram, bro. This shit is for fun.
You got a problem with Brooklyn.
No.
I can't say nothing.
No, bro, you keep doing the same thing, being sarcastic, bro. We trying to have fun, bro. I don't have
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, but come on. You being sarcastic and doing all that. I don't want to go through that, bro.
Who being sarcastic? All right, go ahead. I'm listening. Go ahead.
So the topic is underrated, right?
Yes. Most underrated.
And y'all started out with Paul Pierce, right?
Well, okay, yeah, yes.
Because Paul Pierce was never underrated.
Explain.
Paul Pierce's problem was he thought he was special.
I don't got him underrated at all.
Paul Pierce think he's special.
You don't think
Pierce think he was that dude. No.
Nah, he
what day? What day? Because you made a comment. You made a comment on one of your things that Paul Pierce possibly greatest small forward outside of what, Bron?
No. I didn't say he was a
okay.
No. I would never say that. I'm not saying he's one of the great. Of course, when I say one of the greatest, I'm talking about that 10. When we give out these, when we say top 5, top 10, I think he belongs in them talks. And
he's not. He's not even. His numbers not even close.
But his numbers don't tell it all, bro.
His number. Listen,
so
Paul Pierce had him when he had Antoine Walker. Right. I'll put it to you like this: if Reggie Lewis had never died, we'd never hear Paul Pierce, because Paul Pierce wasn't that dude.
I disagree. I understand Reggie Lewis.
Okay.
Say that.
I'll tell you this much. This is the only thing Paul Pierce has on his resume is his championship.
That's a good
because but that's being all hold on. You 4-time All NBA, you 10-time All-Star.
Right.
That's it.
And he's never been first team. He ain't never been the best in his position.
The dudes that think about this.
Hold on, Fish. 19 years in the league, 14 times playoffs, and he got a Finals MVP. We can't sniff at that.
Your career average. Hold on, let me run this down to you, because I don't really like going to numbers, because I know what I saw, but I'll give you his number. Okay. His career 19-5-3. Right. His best, hold on. His best seasons was 26-6-4-1, 26-6-3-1, 25-7-4-1. His best years. Larry Bird, 3-time champ, rookie of the year, 2 Finals MVPs, 10-time All-Star, 3-time All Defense, 3-time league MVP, all rookie team. Hold on, you're talking about special. No.
Give me 7 to 10 guys that's better than Paul Pierce that we could just strictly agree on. You know what I got? Hold
on. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 5 dudes where Paul Pierce ain't even close. With Dominique Wilkins with numbers, the only thing, hold on, if you want to compare him to Dominique Wilkins, the only thing on his resume that's not even close to Dominique Wilkins is the fact that he got a chip. Because you're talking about a dude who had seasons of 38, 8, 2, and 1.
I agree.
You're talking about a dude who's other than that,
I don't think he's better
than Dominique. He all rookie.
Can't give him that.
9-time All-Star, 7-time All-NBA, 7-time All-NBA, first team.
He's a better basketball player. He's a better basketball player than Dominique. Now, if we're gonna go better score,
no. What are you looking at? Dominique Wilkins is a better rebounder, a better scorer, and average more steals than Paul Pierce. What did Paul Pierce do that was better than Dominique Wilkins as a player? What did he do?
Listen, I give you LeBron, I give you Bird, I give you KD,
Scottie Pippen.
Hold on, no. Dirk, he ain't close to Dirk. His numbers ain't close to Dirk.
Dirk a small forward.
Yeah.
Dirk was a 3, bro.
3.
3?
Yes.
Dirk was a 3.
Wow. I thought Dirk was a power forward.
You really want to put it? Dirk was 10 rebounds a game for his career. With 25.
I thought Dirk was
more All-Star games, more All-NBA first teams.
So on them Dallas teams, who was the 4? Sean Marion?
They had Sean Marion. They had other dudes at the 4.
That was a cheat code right there. That nigga ain't no 3.
Hold on. You want to compare him to Doc? Which numbers you want? The ABA or the NBA? Because Paul Pierce couldn't carry Doc's job.
Now, let me say this. Hold on. I'll let you talk. Let me say this.
AllBall, you said he was special.
I think he is. Like, listen, the numbers for me, Paul Pierce don't tell it all. He was super tough. And I think his skill set if he had the right team around him for a certain amount of years, like everybody else, I think he would have won more. Now these other guys is legendary.
You got a choice franchise, Paul Pierce or Dirk. Who you taking?
I'm taking Dirk. I'm taking Dirk.
You got a franchise. You going Paul Pierce or Wilkins? Who you taking?
I'm taking Paul Pierce. I'm not taking Dominique Wilkins. I'm sorry. I'm not agreeing with Dominique Wilkins.
Who you taking? Paul Pierce or Kawhi?
Kawhi hurt all the time.
You better think long and hard, because even with the injuries, Kawhi's career is better.
Kawhi took a bum rather team to the chip. Paul Pierce went and did that.
Kawhi got to get on the court, man. Yeah,
Kawhi's better.
I'm not going to argue that. Kawhi's better.
So when we say is Paul Pierce special, Paul Pierce was a great player, but Paul Pierce's problem is he thinks he was that dude. He thinks he's on the level of Kobe. He thinks he's on the level of Bron. He thinks that's Paul Pierce's problem was.
Hey, Fish, Lucky left 1988 said Dirk was a 4. That's why I say that's confusing. I thought he was
Dirk played the 3. He played the 4 defensively, but Dirk was the 3. They had other dudes that played the 4.
No way at 7 foot that nigga was a 3. That's crazy. Turbo,
wow, we learn something every day.
We could Google it though to find out.
If Google can get it right, because that was insane when they said
I ain't Googling shit no more. Google told me Paul Pierce 8 times.
Yeah, that was crazy. I had to make sure. I'm like, I missed
Paul Pierce was never him even in college at Kansas. He was never him at Kansas. I watched him up close and personal in Kansas.
I will say this: when the Celtics, I will say this: the Celtics didn't make the playoffs until he got there. So I'll give Paul Pierce some credit. They couldn't even get close to the playoffs until they drafted him.
You sure about that? Because they was making the playoffs with Reggie Lewis.
No, but after that, after Reggie Lewis passed away, they didn't make it. The Celtics didn't make the playoffs until 2002.
Every team had droughts. Yeah. Every team had droughts, right?
And the Celtics
every team had droughts.
10 years of not getting into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then
when Lewis,
but hold on though.
But it was because Lewis died.
No, hold on. Look, and I think ALLBALL was on the live when we was on YouTube. I think you probably left. But I think me and Fabian was talking about, because we was talking about small ball. And then we was mentioning the Celtics, and then I mentioned on one of my lives, this is way back, and I was talking about this, what if the Celtics would have kept Joe Johnson and Chauncey Billups, and they would have had Antoine Walker and Paul Pierce, like how tough of a matchup that would have been if they would have kept those two or whatever. But like I said, Celtics had a solid squad. They drafted Antoine Walker, Walter McCarthy. They had a crew. They had a chance to make the playoffs. They just never could get over the hump until they got Paul Pierce, and then they were on the run. So I give them credit on that one. But as far as top 10 small forward, I mean, you can make a case. You can make a case for him being a top 10 small forward, though. You can make a case.
He could be top 10, but then if you argue it, you ain't wrong either. You know what I'm saying? It's one or the other.
If you can make a case for Paul Pierce top 10, the guys in the top 10 numbers, small forward, the guys with those numbers, all he's got, he would be going up against guys like Dominique, who has no rings, but their numbers aren't even close.
Yeah, definitely not close.
Their numbers aren't even close.
We know that.
They did. That's what I'm saying. Paul Pierce, it's like what Draymond told him. When Draymond told him at the line, bro, you not him. You was okay. You was good, but you wasn't that dude. And the fact that he wasn't first team All NBA.
But
he wasn't, and he was on nobody's defensive list. So Paul Pierce was a guy who was strictly offense. He was strictly offense. That was his game. He wasn't a defender by any stretch of the imagination. He didn't snip an all defensive team, right?
He wasn't special. Yeah, I agree with that, but I disagree.
Yeah.
He wasn't special.
So he was strictly an offensive guy. So if you're going by strictly offensive numbers, he was just above. He was just above good with the offensive numbers.
What made him special to you, though, boy? What made him special to you?
Nigga was tough, man. He had a bag. He could shoot. He was tough, like I said. And Turbo just said it, man. They had a drought, got there. They was making the playoffs. I just feel he don't get the props he deserved. Paul Pierce was tough, man. We all watched the game. I disagree that he was just above good. I disagree that he wasn't special. I disagree.
So you don't think
like I said,
dudes like Dominique, Dr. J ain't special?
Why would I not think they special?
And they had better numbers than Paul Pierce.
A lot of people got better numbers than Paul Pierce.
But what hurt Dominique never made it to the conference finals. That's the thing that hurt. That hurt.
The only reason why Boston made it to the conference finals was because they brought in killers. They brought in Ray Allen and they brought in Kevin Garnett. That's when because Paul Pierce wasn't slipping. Paul Pierce wasn't slipping.
And Kenny Anderson. So that wasn't the first time that wasn't the first time
at that time was washed up with Boston at that time. Kansas at the time was washed up.
Anderson was still solid.
Hold on. He said Boston got to the conference finals with Antoine Walker and Kenny Anderson.
No, second round with them, not conference finals, second round.
Yes, they were. No, they were in the conference finals. They played against the Nets.
Oh, right. Yeah, you did. Yeah. That's like what, 02-03, right?
02.
So one conference finals.
Let's
hold on. One conference finals. If we're gonna say they let go of so and so and Chauncey Billups, Chauncey wasn't ready at that time. Chauncey was nowhere near ready at that time. That's why it took Chauncey two other teams before he got to Detroit.
Hold on, Fish. Hold on. This is what we can't keep doing. Hold on. Because I love this conversation. I didn't want to make it about Paul Pierce, but we here now. You can't keep saying things, and then Turbo was kind of rebuttaling you. You said he ain't did nothing. They made the players when he got there. We said maybe what hurt Dominique is, he never got to a conference finals. Then y'all go, he only got there or got to a chip because he had killers. And then Turbo go, no, he been to a conference finals without Garnett and Ray Allen in him. So that's what I'm saying. You can't tell me he's not
you're a friend, if you're that franchise and you make one conference finals in 10 some odd years, okay, that's by default. That's literally no.
They had a chance to make it to the conference finals.
We talking about those franchises. We talking about Boston, Lakers. We talking about those franchises, right? Okay. If you're that guy and you make a conference finals, but the majority of your career was first, second round outs.
But all right.
You don't know all ball. You don't get this. Not a participation trophy. You don't get that for that moment.
But how many guys only made the first and second round, or maybe not even no rounds, until they got a decent crew around them? Like, can we agree those Boston Celtics teams until KG and Ray Allen came, those teams was mediocre, and they was getting to
who was the leader of those teams? But they was getting to, who was the leader of those teams?
To the playoffs, Fish. They was getting to
They're
the playoffs.
Boston.
Nah, come on.
All ball. You have to take into consideration the franchise you're talking about. It's Boston. The Lakers could trip and fall and make the play-in team, right?
I disagree.
They tripped and fell and was scrubs and made the play-in team. We're talking about a specific franchise. If your goal is not to say we made the playoffs, that is not your goal when you play for Boston. That is not your goal when you play for the Lakers. That is not your goal when you go to Golden State. Oh, we made the play. Oh, we made the playoff. We got out in the first, second round. That's not your goal. That's not what you're playing for, right? The teams that Boston had after Reggie Lewis died were those teams with Ron Mercer, right? Right. Those teams with McCarty, right? Right. Those teams that Patino coached.
Yeah, Greg.
Yeah. They got rid of those guys they got back to at least being normal Boston of people expecting them to win games. But they were not what Boston is supposed to be. They weren't that. They weren't that until KG and Ray Allen came in and Doc Rivers came in. They weren't that under Paul Pierce's leadership.
I disagree, man.
So Paul Pierce's name, Paul Pierce got his nickname in college. My guy was Paul Pierce's assistant coach.
Right.
He was his assistant coach. Neil Doherty, light-skinned dude. Whatever you see Roy Williams, you saw a light-skinned dude standing behind. Came from Cameron University, played with Avery Johnson before Avery went to Southern. Out of his own mouth, he's the dude that recruited Paul. He laughed every time he heard somebody say the truth because Paul was a very good player. He was a great player. But out of his own mouth, who helped develop Pierce, he was not on that level of those other dudes.
He didn't earn that name. He did not. Y'all telling me we ain't got to talk about Paul Pierce ever again. He did not earn that name, the truth. That's what you're telling me.
Shaq gave him that nickname.
I'm asking you.
Shaq said he gave. Hold on. Shaq said he gave him that nickname because he had a stretch of 30-point games. He had a stretch of 30-point games, and he said that boy's the truth. Shaq said he was the one that gave him that nickname. Nah. He didn't have that nickname in college. That was Walter Berry's nickname. Nah, Paul Pierce didn't have a nickname at Kansas.
Y'all violating Paul Pierce, man.
No, Paul Pierce didn't have a nickname. Shaq came on TV in front of Paul Pierce and told him why he gave him that nickname. It was when.
But I want everybody else to get into this conversation. I'm just asking y'all. Do y'all honestly feel Paul Pierce didn't earn that name, the truth?
I'm waiting.
I mean, like, if Shaq would have gave him like another nickname, then you'd be saying the same thing. But I mean, yeah, like you can say he is, but then you can't knock what he's saying either about you bring up his numbers. No, this is all factual. That's why I asked you earlier what makes him special to you. I'm not saying like he's probably like he's not, but to you, what makes him? You broke down why he's special to you. That's why I said with the dudes that you say he's better than, they numbers is way better than his though. So how he better than him? Did he got a championship?
Okay, ALLBALL. If you want to give somebody a nickname the truth, let's say New York, right?
Right.
You New York. Bernard King was the truth.
That's a fact. Without question.
That's my definition of. That's my definition of the dude who was the truth.
Without question.
Not a dude like Paul Pierce. A dude that you were scared of when you saw the rosters come out before the season. That was never Paul Pierce. The truth. The truth is the dude when he walk in the gym, ain't shit you can do with him, and I don't care who in the gym playing.
Hold on. Now, let me say this.
That's the truth. That's the dude. That's the truth. Paul Pierce was never that dude. Paul Pierce didn't strike fear in that.
Like I said, you may know these things because, like I said, you played. I ain't played against Paul Pierce. No way near was on that level, so I can't even answer that. But I'm saying, me watching on the TV, I think he was the truth, and I think he earned that name. I think y'all going. This is what I be saying when sometimes we go too hard on plays, and sometimes we go over and above on plays. For us to sit up here and act like Paul Pierce ain't earned that name, and other players call him that for a reason.
Who called him that? Who called? Whenever, listen, hey man, whenever you hear somebody say, whenever you hear somebody call Jason Terry the Jet, they roll their eyes. Whenever you hear somebody call Paul Pierce the truth, they roll their eyes.
I disagree. It's a real jet. So to me, that's why they do that, because it was the original jet. There was nobody else that they called the truth. Like that was their nickname that stuck, and then
that was Walter Berry from St. John. Okay. When he played with Mullen and Willie Glass, Walter Berry's nickname was the truth in the Big East. Okay. When he came out of JUCO, we not. That. Why you think people roll their eyes with Shaq? Why you think whenever Shaq called Paul Pierce the truth on TNT, Kenny Smith always looked at him crazy?
I gotta look it up because all his
Walter Berry, St. John's, Chris Mullin, Willie Glass, Bill Whittington, Mark Jackson. Walter Berry was the truth.
Oh.
That was his nickname.
Go ahead, Turbo.
Nah, everybody's like really like making good points, but the comments that I wanted to get in was the underrated one of the underrated players of all time of that don't get the credit that they deserve. And I will say this: I did make a mistake putting Pierce on my list. And when Fish put up Bernard King, I should have put up Bernard King, but because of the hype that was going on with Pierce, it just stuck with me. But I want to give like some recognition to some players that deserve that don't get the credit. Definitely Bernard King for me.
Yeah,
is a recognition.
Yes.
Casimo Mobley, I loved his game. I loved Casimo Mobley. I think he was one of the most unappreciated players in the 2000s. Another guy that people don't give credit to, Sean Marion. And I know people are gonna like say, well, Sean Marion's numbers was great because he played with Steve Nash, but he made an all-star before Steve Nash got there.
Yeah. Good point.
Sprewell was underrated.
Very underrated.
To me, Sprewell was the original. And Fish, I heard your comments the other night, whether it was Sunday or Monday, when you were saying about Michael Ray Richardson being the original.
Yeah, Sugar was underrated. Huh? Yeah, Sugar Richardson was underrated.
But you compared him to Russell Westbrook. I was like, no, I say me, him, and Penny are in that same lane.
Yeah. He was a big point guard. Yeah.
And he was athletic. He was Penny in that time before Penny started to take over in the 90s, because nobody knew who Penny was when he got. Because if we look at the documentary, people was upset that they traded Chris Webber for him. They were ready.
Yeah, they were. That was a cold. People was booing that draft. I remember that.
Yeah. And the crazy part is,
he had 2 guard or 3.
Who?
Glenn Rice. He had 2 guard or 3.
Glenn Rice was a 3. Glenn Rice was a 3.
He was both. It depends where he was a 2 and was he? Yeah, he was a 3.
But he was just a bucket. He was just a bucket. And then
he was a bucket.
Huh?
Yeah, but he was tough though.
Yeah,
he was tough though.
Yeah, he one of them dudes that's forgotten because Glenn Rice was a bucket.
I had him on my list too. That's why what you were gonna say, yo, that was a dope list. Like my list was perfect, and I made a mistake. I love Paul Pierce, but I gotta put Bernard King in that top 10. In that top 10.
When you have to do power forwards, let me know when you do power forwards, underrated power forward. I got somebody that might, and nobody don't be mentioning it at all. I mean, this is a little sidebar. I'm just saying, like, when I do power forwards in the future, let me know. I got somebody that people forgot about.
Who was that one?
Yeah, the thing about Michael Ray was
Coleman.
Magic was 6'9" running point. Michael Ray was 6'4", but you didn't have a lot of dudes 6'4", 6'5" running point.
Tom. Yeah.
And then you got to remember he was 2 picks before Larry Bird.
Yeah.
And think about that. He didn't go to a big time college, just like Penny didn't go to a big time college. I know Memphis is big now, but nobody was watching Memphis.
Back then. Wasn't a big college.
Memphis was before, but it was a stretch because Memphis was Andre Turner, Keith Lee, all of them had Jerry Curl, William Bedford,
right in the 70s, right?
Yeah. It was Keith Lee, Andre Turner. It was either Andre Turner or Elliot Perry. I can't remember who was the dude who I think Elliot Perry had the goggles, but that Keith Lee, William Bedford, they was one of them teams like DePaul, when DePaul had Cummings and Aguirre, and they couldn't quite break through. They couldn't quite break through that field of 32 to the Sweet 16. They couldn't quite break through that glass.
Yeah.
He said,
consistent.
Big shout out Ed Henry. He said Ross Strickland, Dr. Jenny, and Clyde Frazier.
Absolutely, yeah.
How about Larry Johnson? He was a 3 or 4.
Larry Johnson was a small forward. Power forward. The thing about Larry Johnson got hurt too early.
His back was fucked up.
That's what. So we can't really put him in that underrated. I get it. He is forgotten, but we can't really. It's kind of hard to put a guy that's underrated that's been injured.
Nah, but you know what? The hype for LJ was there in Charlotte. With his grandma, like it was there.
Yeah.
That injury fucked him up so bad.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, people seen the flashes, and he was getting all the props in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you a question. Hold on, let me ask you a question. I think he's a little underrated, and he was undersized. Alonzo Mourning.
No, he underrated.
He always, I don't know. Zoe always got his love. Even in even coming out of high school, he always got his. He always got his.
He was the number one player in the country. He was the number one player in the country, and it's funny because Robert Horry was on All the Smoke, because he was in that 88 class, and he was saying that Sean Kemp was mad that Alonzo was number one pick, and he said he dumped on him and was like, "Yo, that's why I should have been the number one pick."
I seen that.
Because Zoe was in that Sports Illustrated. They had a thing. Used to have a thing called Faces in the Crowd, where they highlighted like high school kids. And they had Kenny Anderson was I think a junior at Malloy, and then they had Lonzo Mourning was like, what was he, a freshman? I think he was a freshman maybe in high school, and they had somebody else listed. They had somebody else listed in that sport. Monte Ellis was underrated.
Was Malik ranked was one of the top players in the country? Well, he made the McDonald's All-American, but how high was Malik Tilly?
I think he was underrated. I think Malik, the guy that died, that had the one car wreck, used to play for Philly, was underrated. I can't remember. He's one of my friend's cousins at Oklahoma City. I can't remember his name, but he used to play. He used to play for. He had a one car wreck a couple years ago and passed.
Wow.
But he was like Malik, like he went from a couple of teams to a couple of teams, but they did the exact same thing. They was that glue guy. Right. They was that guy that could do a little bit of everything. I just can't remember dude's name, but dude was underrated just like Malik.
He was the best player in New York City,
Who he played for?
He said Philly.
He used to play for the Sixers. He played for a couple of different teams.
Right, the Rockets.
I'm not
he
sure.
Light-skinned?
Nah, he dark skinned.
I know you're talking.
I'm upset because my boy usually pops in there. Dre Hurd. It's he at Oklahoma City. But I think I told you, AllBall. One of the Hurds played for Tulsa when they shut down Ed Cota and UNC in the tournament that year.
Ed Cota, they shut down?
Tony was the point guard on the team that locked up Ed Cota. Their cousin is the guy I'm trying to think of. I just can't remember his name. But he died like maybe 4 or 5 some years ago. He had a car wreck. I just can't remember his name. But him and Malik Sealy were dudes who I always thought they was that guy that you said a team need was one player away.
Right.
They to me was that one player. It was never like a Jamal Crawford. It was those dudes. They kind of remind me of Sean Mary, where they was always that one player type guy that you needed.
Because of Malik Sealy at St. John. That's the reason why I was 21. When I was 21, that was the reason why I was 21, because of him. Because he was just moving quiet.
He was good too at St. John's. He was good too. Lopez?
Nah, Lopez
he got a raw. He just got a raw deal, because when he figured it out is when he got hurt in the league, because he had just figured it out in Minnesota.
Yeah,
and Minnesota was cooking then too.
I remember out here, Rice. We was watching them because of my coach, Mo Hicks. Big shout out him. He coached Rice High School, so we always was going to them games. And I told you brought up Ed Cota, Brooklyn. My tournament we had on our block, and Ed Cota played in the All-Star game against Kareem Reed. I ain't never seen a nigga pass the ball like that. I said, "Who the fuck is this?" And then you see him in North Carolina throwing all them alley-oops to Vince Carter. Yeah, Cota was tough.
Yeah,
If Ed had a mid-range shot, he said he would have been in the league.
He was like, yo, I had no scouting report on him. And he said, Ed Cota gave him the business. He was like, I didn't know who he was, but I had no scouting report.
Rich just said it. If he could shoot the ball, because listen, that's what kept Mike Conley in the league. Mike Conley could shoot.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I agree.
That was always what stopped UNC from making that next step when they had to have Ed at the point, because they would just play off him in the tournament and keep him out the paint.
Right.
I watched Ed lose his dribble in the crowd of 2-3 people, and he was rolling it through his leg. He couldn't pick up his dribble. He was rolling it through his legs, and he hit the ball with the heel of his hand.
And they lost to Arizona that year. They lost to Arizona.
I remember watching him do that, and I was like, and I know handlers, and I was like, first thing I was like, did he palm the ball?
Right.
And when they slowed it down, he's literally rolling it through his legs and hit it with the palm of his hand, and all of a sudden he just shoots out of that trap, and I'm like, man, this motherfucker here, man, this dude here was different.
Him all the time in North Carolina. I was watching him all the time in North Carolina because I lived in North Carolina for like 2 years, so I always watched them. And then plus, one of my boys was a point guard in Virginia, Jamal Robinson. That's my family. Big shout out to Jamal Robinson. That's my dude.
Yeah.
They had 3 New York guards come through UNC who game management and handles was crazy. Jimmy Black, Ed Cota, and Derek Phelps.
Yeah, Derek Phelps. Wow.
They handled Derek Phelps and Kenny Smith, but Derek Phelps' left hand handle was crazy. He would literally put it out in your face and just snatch it back. When I see Jalen Rose, nobody can name the 5 guys from North Carolina that beat him. And you know who Ed Cota was, because you know who Derek Phelps was, because you couldn't get the rock, and you know Donald Williams lit y'all ass up. Don't play like you don't know who them dudes was. Don't play like you ain't know Donald Williams dropped that 25 on all 3.
Was no slouch either. George Licks was no slouch either, and he was in that 89. He was in that 88 class too, high school class too. I was like, damn,
super solid. But
I hated that Brian Reese got hurt and blew his knee out, because he was
underrated guy.
Reese was snatching balls off the rim on them. It wasn't Lynch on them glass all the time. Reese was doing his thing.
Victor Page was all right too from Georgetown. I mean, Victor Page.
Oh yeah,
What's crazy is that
he was the truth.
As much as I love AI, but real talk. As much as I love AI, I ain't gonna lie. I love Victor Page. Super tough. To me, he was more exciting. Like, I ain't gonna lie. But let me ask you a question before we get out of here, because I gotta go get my son. How good? I want Fish to go first, and then Troy to go second, Turbo go third. How good was and Fish might know personally? How good was Brandon Roy really?
He was a problem. He was one of the few dudes I saw go at Kobe easy.
Wow.
He was one of the dudes. He reminded me of like Petrovic. Like Petrovic would call out Mike on the screen.
Yeah, that's a great comparison.
And people thought he was crazy. Until he would get the bucket. And he would end up with like 25. That was Roy.
Wow.
Roy was coming at you. Roy would go at, when Portland would play LA, Roy would go at Kobe like Kobe would go at the league.
Yeah.
Roy was a bucket. Roy was what Anthony Edwards is supposed to be.
I'm about to come now.
Ooh.
That's who Roy was. Brandon Roy is what Anthony Edwards is supposed to turn out to be.
All right, that's
out the gate. Brandon Roy was out the gate.
Oh yeah, Brandon Roy, he was special too. And he was very competitive too. He got mad when they lost I think it was the 2008 All-Star game. They said, I'm like, I could see why Kobe respects the hell out of him, because he's a competitor. Fearless competitor.
Roy wasn't Dame Lillard. Dame Lillard didn't have the physical ability to be able to do what Brandon Roy did.
Nah. Brandon
Roy would give Dame Lillard 30, and he would sit in Lillard's lap 94 feet. That's who Brandon Roy was.
Yeah. Too bad he got hurt in his prime. He was like, yeah. Ooh, I would say, damn.
Well, fellas, I got to get out of here.
All right.
Got the call.